my talk on authenticity. So here's the thing. Before I give you my talk on authenticity, I want to establish something for you guys. And that is why I can talk about how to live an authentic life. Before I was hired here, I was traveling around the country, talked in about 75 different New Thought churches. And across, no matter where I went, I was introduced as the most authentic person whoever was introducing me had ever met in their lives. I was really shocked by this. I didn't tell them to say that. It hadn't dawned on me that somebody would say that. And yet, time and time again, everywhere I traveled, I'm introduced as the most authentic person they'd ever met. So I figure if I'm that much of an authentic person, I'm kind of an expert on this stuff. So that's the starting point. Feeling like I'm an expert on this stuff, on being authentic. And being authentic is an incredibly interesting thing because it's so differently defined, right? We have this definition about authenticity in the New Thought movement that has something to do with, once you get all the layers off, being that spirit, pure self. The problem is that nobody would ever be authentic because, as far as I can tell, I still got a million more layers to go. And so there's a way in which we hold up this ideal around authenticity that can't possibly hold up. So what is it really? What is authenticity really? And what it comes down to is a kind of spontaneity and in-the-moment presence. I'm really, really good about being in the moment with whatever's going on in my life, sometimes to the detriment of other moments. But it works out because there's something about being so present, so in the moment, so being here now that actually kind of works. And not even kind of. It just has this flow to it. Now, I know for me, I think what people really mean when they say authenticity, what they're really talking about is transparency. I tend to be a very transparent person. I tend to wear my emotions on my sleeve, say what's on my mind, and let the chips fall where they may. One of my first teachers in spirituality was a man named Robert Fritz. And he used to say that all the time. Speak the truth and let the chips fall where they may. And yet we want to somehow couch the truth in a way that might manipulate somebody into taking it better. Like a sugar cube. How they put medicine inside sugar cubes for kids. Except that's what we keep doing as so-called adults, sugarcoating our truths. Now, does that mean being mean? No. And certainly I have heard lots of people couch themselves in authenticity and truth to really just say something mean. Maybe you've experienced that. Maybe I'm not the only one. Am I the only one? Okay. So I'm not talking about that either, because the other part about being authentic for me is to constantly remember who I want to be in the world. And one of the things I want to be is kind. So when I start hearing something coming out of my mouth and have the wherewithal to catch it before it gets out, realizing that what's about to be said is mean, I do my best to stop it. And I don't think that makes me any less authentic. In fact, in some ways, that is my authenticity because I don't want to say nothing mean. Now, does that mean I don't say anything mean? My wife will tell you that's simply not the case. There are times mean stuff comes out of my mouth. I don't like it. And I'm doing my best to work on that, to be that kinder person. I was sitting in a restaurant once, and the waiter comes over and says that the bottle of wine I'd ordered isn't nice, but it's real. And the person I was with said, God, that's you. And I think that's what we're really after, being real. And you can be kind, and it's not the same thing as nice. You know people who are nice? Kind of walk around, like they're walking on eggshells all the time and just wanting to make sure everybody's okay. And they're just so nice. That's not what I'm talking about either. That's not the same as kind. Because one of the things to be authentic, to live an authentic life, is you've got to keep checking in with yourself. You got to keep checking in with yourself over and over. I do all day. I'm checking in with myself. Is this real for me? Is this mine to do now? Is this what's up for me? Is this true for me? Things happen all the time that I have and that I need to respond to. And one of my first questions to myself, I know the big question that many of you have taken on, and I'm very grateful for that, is this mine to do now? Well, another question that I ask myself regularly is this true for me? Is what's being said, is what's going on now true for me? Now, it may be true for the other person saying it. So I'm not going to step in and say, hey, that's not true for you. But I'll always check to see if it's true for me. One of the things I do is if somebody is saying something and as a general statement, you know how people do that? Make general statements as if they're speaking for humanity. You know anybody who does that? What we need is peace on earth for all people. What about those who don't want peace? Like they should just go to another planet? Now, some of you may be saying, well, wait a minute, peace on earth is probably a really good idea, except there are those who came here to be warriors. And you've heard me talk about this before. Some of those warriors have the discipline to wind up on the football field, have the discipline to join the armed forces because they actually belong there. Because that's what they came in to be, and that's their truth. And they get to have that truth. So whenever we go around and we're stating some general fact about all humanity, there's no such thing. There's a couple of things. We're all going to leave these bodies. That's one thing that's true for all of humanity. No one yet has got to keep their body forever. You come into it, you get to play around in it for a while, and then you give it back. That's just how the game works. So that's true for all of humanity. What's true for all of humanity is each of us has a yearning. I've never met anyone without a yearning of some sort towards something. But the thing about these yearnings is that they're unique. And a lot of times we're told, well, that's not a very good yearning. You shouldn't have that yearning. Try this yearning instead. And this is what I've learned about that. You guys with me so far? Anyone who doesn't know what they want, it's because they gave up their yearning because somebody told them they couldn't have that. It was a bad idea. They shouldn't yearn for that. And so most people go around saying, I don't know what I want. What they're really saying is, I don't know what I want second. Because what I really want doesn't seem possible to me. And so I'm not going to go for that. And many of us give up on what we really want because somebody told us it wasn't possible and we believed them. So part of being authentic is being willing to bring back within ourselves that thing that we really, really want. That means the world to us, that somehow we bought into wasn't possible, and yet since it's our yearning, must be on some level. Sure, if you're 86 years old and your yearning is to be a Major League football player or baseball player, the odds are that that won't be, come into fruition in this, time of life. But I will tell you this, I heard this great story about this guy who was obsessed with golf. He was obsessed with golf. So he went and he tried so hard to get out on the on the tour, the professional tour. And he just didn't cut it, year after year after year, and he was getting older. And so what happened is he started to develop this program to help him with his swing. Because it turned out he was really good at computer programming. Some of the other golfers on the tour found out about that program, some very famous golfers, and asked them about his program. And so this man who had this incredible love of golf wound up, instead of being the golfer, being the support person for some of the greatest golfers in the world. And thus lived out his dream. Maybe it didn't look the way he wanted it to look. But when asked, he said, I am fully satisfied and thrilled with my life. And that's what's possible. We shouldn't get caught up in what it looks like. But if you have a yearning, there is a way at any age, at any time in life, for that to bear fruit, to come forth. It may look different from what you thought. But in the end, I promise you, you have within you this power, this presence, this authenticness that is a gift to life. It is actually a gift. This man brought forth a gift to other golfers. He didn't know that's where it was headed. He thought he was developing the program for himself. And yet it turned out to be this thing that almost every major golfer in the world uses now. What an impact. You, within you, have a yearning that will have impact if you are authentic about what is true for you. If you ask yourself the question, what is true for me? What is really true for me? And not look outside here for others to say whether that's a good idea or not. Something will develop out of that without you even knowing what that could be, what it might look like. That will be brilliant and your gift to life. Get out of your own way in your own authenticity. Allow what is beautiful inside you to come forth like the flower you are. And allow life to reward you for that magnificent gift that only you can bring. Thank you. I love you. All right. What we normally do now is invite somebody up to be prayed on. Do you guys like that part? I'm not hearing the enthusiasm. I'm not hearing the enthusiasm. If you want this part to stay, I need to hear it. All right. This is how you guys participate in this. By showing your enthusiasm for what we're doing up here, that's how I know what we're doing is working. If you're not showing your enthusiasm, then I don't know. And I may trash something you guys actually like. So you're the ones who got to let me know. All right? Who's going to step up here, be the courageous one this week to be prayed on? Now we need that one enthusiastic person. Who would like to have the courage? Josu, come on down, our music director. There you go. Yeah, yeah. All right. What do you want to be prayed on?
So I had this concert last week, and it went really well, but I just want to know what comes after.
What's next?
Yes.
All right, we need 8 to 10 people, hands on. That's right. We're going to see amazing things for Hozu now. All right, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and relax. And as always, we start within our own hearts. Feel the healing, loving light within your heart. Now let that light expand to fill your whole body, to feel this healing, loving energy, healing you, your own love, your own healing light. And now let it expand further so you can feel the healing, loving light of everyone in this room. Feel that presence of spiritual family right here in this room. And from this place of power and presence, we send that energy through Hozu, knowing for him amazing things, knowing his next step with clarity, knowing this, and at depth what is his to do now, that he knows this clearly, effortlessly. It pops up before his eyes. Know this for him. Know what an amazing gift Hozu is to life. And I am so grateful for the power and the presence that Hozu is, and for the power and presence of our spiritual family here today. I am so grateful for the wonderful gifts that Hozu brings to life and that our spiritual family stands for. And I release this knowing it to be so as we all say together. And so it is. Right. Power and presence in community. I love it. All right? Take out what you're going to give. Hold it in your hand. Unfold it. It doesn't matter whether it's $1, $10, $100, deeds of property, gold mines, diamonds. Hold them in your hand. As we say our affirmation together, God is the source of all supply. Money is God in action. What I give, I receive multiplied abundantly. All that God is, I am, and so it is.